More than 57% of all homes sold throughout 2025 has already lost value, on average between 8 to 10%, meaning anyone, whatever they paid cash or took mortgage on it, they're already underwater. Oh, my little friends, there is a new real estate collapse coming in 2026. It's not coming, it's already here. And we're not exaggerating over here. It's a very interesting article that was just released from bar chart and alongside using the due diligence of Wall Street Journal. And if you could look at over here, the market hasn't seen such a big slide in pricing for the last 14 years. Even right after the financial crisis in 08-09, we haven't seen such a big steep slide. So pay very, very close attention. We're gonna look the situation through the perspective of the developers, through the middlemen, which are the brokers, the salespeople, and the realtors, and the people who actually consume the properties, which are renters and buyers. Everyone is in such a bad situation. Look at this. So currently, we're experiencing the biggest price slide in areas that were overdeveloped. The most popular areas where a lot of people relocated to from their own original locations. The main data over here indicates that the current price decline is not only bad for people who are currently listing their properties for sale because they wait 100, 120 days. No one actually shows interest. They have to delist the property because they don't want to look bad. Because if you go online and look for a property, either to buy or rent, and the property is over 100 days on the market, you as a buyer or renter, you have a huge leverage over the person who rented out or the developer, right? Because the developer is in such a bad situation right now. Why? The prices to build a brand new building are much higher than before. It costs much more to build the same size of a building. Also, they have to pay higher wages. On top of that, the insurance is sky high. But they don't really care. This has never been an issue for them. They just add this to the price, create a package for either buy or rent, give this to the middleman, which is the broker. The broker looked at this and said, yeah, ain't gonna happen, G. We have properties we cannot rent out. Much better location, has views, balconies, and they're 20-30% cheaper than your current prices. Ain't gonna happen. And look at what the Wall Street Journal actually reported. This is probably one of the most important reports so far. According to Wall Street Journal, the condominium prices in the US in September and October has seen almost 2% decline. And this might not, appears to be a big deal. But this is the biggest decline since 2012. And we're talking about right after the housing bubble, when everyone was thinking, oh, this is probably the best time to buy. The market has bottomed. Everywhere there is deals. You can find, duplex, you can find triplex, and people were not quite interested. But over here, things are getting even more interesting. Zillow, on the flip side, is putting out a report which shows that the people who recently purchased condos, they just bought a condo, and the price of their condo that they purchased is already down 10%. So people who recently purchased a condo, most likely they're, if they paid cash, it's kind of okay, to see a short-term decline in value. But if you actually got mortgage and you have some crazy interest on the mortgage, and you're not only losing money by the value of the property going down, but you actually feel that you're overpaying for something that might see even greater decline. So according to Zillow report, 10% of the condos are now currently valued under the sales price. And this, what does it mean? This means that owners currently are underwater, and they will be stuck with this property for whatever the length of the mortgage is. If you rent it out, who cares if you rent it out, right? Not to mention that if you're an owner, the HOA fees are going higher, the property taxes are going higher, and like I mentioned, the developer costs, even the developer cost is not gonna go low. It's gonna remain steady. The only thing that could actually go down could be the demand for a certain period of time. Because when you have an overdevelopment, the supply and demand equation changes in favor of the people who consume. right? This is not happening so quite so often. What else is happening over here? So according to the same report, the HOA fees currently sit at around $4,000 per year on average. So just think about it. Regardless of your crazy property taxes, right? If you buy a condo, you have to put on side on average $4,000 per year. And this is maybe not a lot for New York standards, of course not a lot. There condos here in the city, like they have like $6,000, $8,000, $9,000 a month HOA. So this $4,000 per year, it's not a big deal, but obviously for Florida, I don't know, it might be a game changer for a lot of people. Because remember, a lot of retirees are moving to Florida, right? So they don't have like crazy amount of savings. So any changes in the predicted expenses or cost of living that they did when they retire and they move, they said, okay, this is our fixed cost, fixed expenses for living. You know, we know exactly how much we're going to spend a month for this or that, how much we can afford. And when something like this changes dramatically, you know, this can push a lot of people in a very, very bad place. Don't get me wrong, I love Florida, I love Miami. Definitely a very nice place, better than New York City, but you cannot hide the fact that probably they will be the one hit the most with all this steep price decline. We're about, maybe we finally are about to see some very reasonable price decline, because people have been speculating for many years. A real estate bubble is bursting, real estate crash is coming, and there's so many people are praying every year, right? Because they simply cannot afford to buy anything, and they hope for this crash, and this crash never comes. And hopefully, you know, we might actually experience one of those. It will be good to reset the market, to reset the prices, to give some leverage to the actual users, right? People who are really struggling to find a place to either live or buy. Second important part over here, the prices of the buildings from 2024 currently are worth less. The building built in 2024 versus the buildings built in 2025. The prices in 2025 are lower, you have less deals, it costs more money to build versus 2024. In 2024, as you remember, the mortgage rates were at 6, 7, 8%. So no one was buying on the higher mortgage rates when the buildings were cheaper to build. Now we have a lower mortgage rates. The buildings to be built for the builders is more expensive, but also the prices of the properties are lower. Do you understand what kind of mixed reality we're living right now? According to Zillow, 85,000 listings in September 2025 effectively has seen a sharp decline and reduction of the listing price. Effectively, anyone who listed a property throughout the year and expected to get different prices either for rent or essentially to sell the property has to reduce the price. A lot of people actually completely delist the property, send someone to take new pictures, because now the AI can identify if you just repurpose the old pictures. And if you ask Perplexity, let's say you want to buy this condominium over here, currently listed for let's say $150,000, figuratively speaking, and they release the whole property with the old photos, the Perplexity can tell you, you know what, the same exact apartment was actually listed for $240,000 just a month ago. So effectively, just based on a visual search of the images and replication of the same exact listing, all the information, they're trying to erase the information, erase the old listing, erase all the data, and release the properties with lower prices. This changes also the graph that you will see on Zillow. Remember the price history of the property, when was acquired, what pricing, what was the most recent price cuts or price hikes, or what was the price that the property was acquired prior. All this information is simply erased when you take a new pictures and create a new listing. Sometimes they even change some of the information or structure the information in a way in which that the bot will not identify that this is the exact same property on the exact same location in the exact same building. We're talking about actual panic mode for a lot of people. Second important element over here, something that we haven't seen since the 08-09 financial crisis. We're having a shocking demand crash. No one is actually looking. Why? Because first of all, they were very, very scared that the prices will go higher. They got scared that they're going to get fired because of AI. They didn't want to take mortgage, so they said, you know what, I'm just going to rent. And this created, as you can see over here, the lowest level of demand that actually peaked below 1.4 million in November 2025, which was down 2.5% month over month, which effectively means that all the people who are delisting the previous listings, right, they're not just going to give a small discount on the previous listing. They're going to give a sharp discount because they're not just competing for clients, they're competing with other builders or other developers who are effectively looking to find somebody to live in their building, right? The bloodbath continues. According to Zillow, listings saw 26.9% cut in late 2025. So going closer and closer towards the end of 2025, they were already looking for escape valve. You know, not gonna be surprised seeing the usual 1 month free, 3 months free, 4 months free, just to get you to sign the lease. And because this lease is usually duration have 12, 24 months, depending how panicked they are. Because even if they lock a lease for 24 months on much lower rate, right? Nothing that they were expecting to offer this property for, it's still better for them because, like I said, a lot of people speculating for recession. And if recession actually hits, believe me, these people will be the first one to get hit. Of course, after the commercial real estate.